Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite tips and tricks video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the best settings for Fortnite console, PS4, Xbox One, whatever. A lot of this will also apply to PC and maybe even some to mobile, because this is the #1 question every single time in the comment section. Do an updated settings video. Even though I have made settings videos and talked about it in the past, people seem to be very interested in this, so of course I'm going to make the content that people have been asking me before, as well as, I stream over on Facebook, and always in my streams people are asking me sensitivity over and over, so it is something that people are super interested in. So I'll be talking about what I'm using currently, why I've changed it just a tiny bit, and what I've felt from basically experimenting around with it, and basically overall things about sensitivity. So if you guys could smack a like on this video, let's go for 905 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. Up over 260,000, boys. We're on that road for 300k, so please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and let's get right into this. So I'm going to be talking about settings, but mainly I'm going to be focusing on the sensitivities, as well as the controller layout, as well as some equipment that I also use to help me game, because that is what most people usually ask about when they ask about settings. They don't really care if you play with vibration or not, or if you hold down to search things or tap to search. The stuff that really matters, the nitty gritty, what people want to know is what building settings do you use, or controller customization settings, and what do you use as far as sensitivity. So I'll start off with sensitivities. Okay, I made videos talking about at the beginning of season 4, which was now like over a month ago, like a month, maybe 40 days ago, somewhere around there, because I think it started at like the beginning of May, and I talked about my sensitivity. Now at the time I used a 5.5 sensitivity, and I was sort of going up and down as far as the ADS sensitivity and the scope sensitivity. Now, to answer everyone's question, what sensitivity do I use currently? As of right now, a lot of people always say in my gameplays it looks like the sensitivity is too fast to be a 5.5, and I use a 6 horizontal, 6 vertical sensitivity as of right now. Now, those two sensitivities are probably the most important in the game, and I have been messing around with them for quite some time, trying to find the perfect one. Now, there is no perfect one for, just overall. Every single person is going to be completely different, but there is a perfect one for you, and that's what I want people to understand. So I've been usually in that range between 5 and 7. That is where I found my sweet spot to be, and depending on how much I'm playing, I change it up, but I've been stuck on 6.6 for a while, as I find that is the best as far as that goes. So like I talked about before, with that sensitivity, what you want is, obviously you want to have the highest possible sensitivity to be able to turn around, make quick movements, but you also want to have the highest possible sensitivity while making sure that sensitivity does not affect your aim and does not make your aim bad. And the fact is that you don't, just using, if I use 6.6 sensitivity, that doesn't mean you guys should use it too. I mean, I think that's the sweet spot right there. Anywhere from like 4 to 8 is a very good spot. Other ones are kind of slow. 9 to 10, for select people, they work very well, if you're really good at controlling it, but for other people, it doesn't work as well. And you can tell when you're watching someone's gameplay that the first time you watch it, if their sensitivity is too low, where they basically can't turn very fast, it looks like they're moving in slow motion, or if their sensitivity is too high and they're just spazzing all over the place, missing shots, and they can't really control it. And that's why I find that 6.6 is that perfect medium for me. Now, personally, it might be different for you guys. It might be 7.7, it might be 8.8, but I suggest that move your sensitivity up, and whenever you get to that one where you feel uncomfortable, drop it down 1, and that's the sensitivity you should stick with. So if you feel uncomfortable on 9.9, but you feel great on 8.8, stick to 8.8, and then maybe eventually you can move up to 9.9 if you want to, but just increasing your sensitivity, and just because you use a 10.10 sensitivity doesn't make you an absolute god, and just because you use a 3.3 doesn't make you a bad player. It's just based on personal preference as far as that goes. Now with this game, you have to, it's a competitive game. Fortnite is a competitive game, and you have to be playing like literally all the time to make sure your aim is on point. And that's why I suggest that more casual players should probably go on the lower end of the sensitivity, because to be able to control a 7, 8, 9, or 10 sensitivity, you really have to be playing hours and hours and hours every single day to be able to get used to that, unless you're just used to like doing minimal movements on the thumbsticks. But basically the players that play more and are more hyperactive proactive sometimes will use a higher sensitivity. For casual players, there's nothing wrong with using a 4 sensitivity. As long as you can turn and build at a decent speed, that will be fine, and that's what I have to say as far as that. So to answer everyone's question, my updated settings, I'm on a 6.6 as far as that goes. Now, ADS and scope sensitivity. I've experimented with these ones. I've always been around like the 0.5 mark to the 0.80 or 0.08, or what is it? No, 0.8 mark, which is 0.80. So 0.5 to 0.8. That's what I've been moving up and down. And as of right now, I've settled back on what I was originally using because I've been testing these out. I want to make sure I get you guys, the best settings that work for me. I'm at a 0.65 on both of them. Now, this one is a little simpler to judge than the X and the Y sensitivity. This one basically, all you have to do is that if you're spazzing out when you're trying to aim down sights, or when your scope's coming up, sometimes you're able to spaz out and you'll be like, what am I doing? If that's happening consistently to you, you need to drop it down. If that's not happening, if you don't think that that is an issue at all, like if aim down sight sensitivity, you've never lost a gun fit because it was too slow or too fast, don't touch that sensitivity. You don't have to mess with what's not broken, you know what I mean? Don't create a problem where there isn't one. And one other thing that, sensitivity and changing your settings aren't going to make you a super great player. And the thing that's going to make you, you're going to become a bad player if you have really bad settings. But if your settings are just normal, that's not what's most likely that's not what's holding you back from being a better player. It's more like, your decision making or putting more time into the game. But that's what I have as far as those settings, and that's what I have for as far as those sensitivities. As my updated settings, I've settled at a 6.6 and a 0.65. Now, I may be moving that up in the future. If there's times where I'm playing 10 hours a day in the future. I mean, I'm not playing that much right now, but if there was a time where maybe I was streaming and playing like 10 hours a day, I would probably be on like an 8 or 9 sensitivity because I would have more control around that. And that's what I say as far as that. I also use a couple of different things, which is, this is other common questions I get. People always ask me, and I saw it was the top comment on the video the other day, is a SCUF controller. What do I do with my SCUF controller? Now, what a SCUF controller is it's basically a controller that has paddles on the back. It's a custom controller company called SCUF. They're very famous, tournament legal. Everything is completely legal to using these controllers. Professional players will use them all the time in different professional console games. And basically with my controller, I have 2 paddles on the back on my PS4 controller. People always ask me, do I use the 4 paddle one or the 2 paddle one? The 2 paddles on the back, the left one allows me to jump and the right one allows me to pull out my build. So I'll be a little bit quicker to pull out my build and react when I get shot out of nowhere, and a little bit better at jumping while keeping my fingers. It allows me to jump using one of my fingers on the back paddle and also keep my fingers on the thumbsticks, so I'm able to basically jump and keep my shot more accurate with shotguns, if you guys notice. So that definitely does 100,000% help me out. I think that's probably the biggest deal, is to win shotgun fights. The SCUF really does help. So those are the settings I use on my SCUF controller. Now, I am sponsored by them. I've been using their product for years now, probably since like 2011, and I do recommend them. They are kind of expensive, I think up over $100, even a bit higher sometimes, but definitely you can use my code Goblin. I'm sponsored by them. It gives you a little bit of a discount, and I'll link the website to SCUF Gaming down in the comment section or the description down below if you guys are interested in using that, because I know people always ask me. That's what I use. I use the simple PS4 one with the 2 paddles on the back for jump and to pull out the builds, right? So that's what I run with that. As far as any other things that I use as far as gaming equipment or fancy monitors, I don't have the most fancy setup. I have an Astro headset. I think just having a decent headset, because sound whoring and listening is so important in this game, as well as I have a Control Freak, which Control Freak is like an extension on the thumbstick. It allows you to be a little bit more accurate with aiming. Personally, I only use one on my right thumbstick because I don't think you really need precision sprinting. So I'm also sponsored by Control Freak, and I've been using their product also since probably 2012 maybe for them, and you can use code Goblin for a 10% discount there as well. And those ones are super cheap. They're like 10-20 bucks maybe, and it gives you sort of advantage aiming. So if you're interested in that, the link for that will be down in the description as well, and you can use my code Goblin for a discount. Just some little things that I use as far as gaming equipment, nothing too fancy. Now the next thing, now that we got sensitivity out of the way, what sort of gaming equipment I use is the building. What do I use to build as far as my controller settings? And Builder Pro. I think most people are on Builder Pro right now because it's been out for over a month, and by this time most people people have learned Builder Pro, and you can really like the amount of building people are doing now on console. It looks like a PC lobby sometimes because it's absolutely crazy. Builder Pro, I'm gonna say it wholeheartedly, it's 1000% the way to go. It's the future of this game, and it's definitely something that I'm rocking with as far as my settings go. So you guys know my sensitivity, you know my building settings, and I know people are going to continue to ask in the future because they probably didn't see this video, but that's what I'm rocking with right now. Those are the reasonings behind it. It doesn't mean my settings will work perfectly for you, but that's what I'm rocking with, and I want to let you guys know because I've been getting so many questions about my updated settings. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like on this video if you guys could. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and have a great night. I'm out. Peace.